close your eyes and step back in time. It's summer in the 1970s. No smartphones, no screens, no schedules. Just the sound of cicadas in the trees, a bike leaning against the garage, and the sun shining on endless possibility. Back then, childhood meant freedom. The world was your playground, and home was just the place you went when the streetlights came on. Today, the Rewind Vault takes you back to the summers that shaped a generation, a time when adventure began the moment you stepped outside and ended only when your mom yelled your name from the porch. 1. The last bell of freedom. In the 1970s, the last day of school wasn't a ceremony. It was liberation. There were no graduation parties or kindergarten parades. When that final bell rang, it meant one thing: summer had begun. The first Monday without school was magic. You woke up late, had cereal in front of the TV, and realized there were no plans. And that was the best part. If mom was home, she'd tell you to go outside and do something. If she wasn't, you still knew the rule: be home for dinner and don't get in trouble. There were no text messages, no GPS trackers, and no play dates arranged by parents. You just knocked on a friend's door and asked, "Can you come out?" If not, you went to the next house. 2. The bike. Your ticket to the world. Your bike wasn't just transportation. It was independence. That banana seat and chrome handlebars were the keys to the universe. If you had a Schwinn Stingray, you were the king of the block. If not, a Huffy from Kmart or Free Spirit from Sears still got the job done. Those bikes carried you to adventure, down dirt trails, through puddles, over curbs, and across town to your best friend's house. Your legs burned, your knees were scraped, but you didn't care. That bike was freedom, and every spin of the pedals was a promise of discovery. 3. Playgrounds, made of metal and imagination. Today's playgrounds are plastic and safe, but back in the 70s, they were built like test tracks for daredevils. Towering metal slides that could sear your skin on a sunny day, merry-go-rounds that spun so fast you'd fly off into the dirt, and jungle gyms that doubled as rocket ships, castles, or pirate forts, depending on who you were that day. Most of that equipment was painted in bright colors, which, by the time we got there, were peeling away in flakes of rust. But we didn't care. We climbed higher, swung faster, and tested every limit. 4. The pool, where summer lived. When the heat hit hard, there was only one destination: the community pool. It was the social center of every town, the place to show off cannonballs, awkward dives, and maybe even impress a crush. Back then, every pool had a high dive, that towering ladder that separated the brave from the cautious. Once you climbed up, there was no turning back. Not with your friends, and especially not with the girls watching below. And when you finally jumped, time stopped. 1 second of pure flight and a lifetime of memories. 5. Real adventures, not screen time. For 70s kids, entertainment didn't come from pixels. It came from imagination. If you lived in the country, you had forests, creeks, and old barns to explore. If you lived in the suburbs, you had empty lots, backyards, and lakes with rope swings tied to half-broken trees. We built forts out of scrap wood and cardboard. We dug holes, built ramps, and sometimes, miraculously, survived our own inventions. No one needed permission slips or helmets. You just used your hammer, your best friends, and your wild ideas. 6. Bike ramps and daring dreams. Every neighborhood had at least one kid who thought he was Evil Knievel. We watched him jump buses and fountains on TV, and then tried to do the same thing in our driveway. A plank of wood, a stack of bricks, and a few brave souls cheering you on. That was all you needed. If you crashed, you got up, brushed off the gravel, and tried again. If your mom saw, she might shout, but only after she grabbed the camera. We didn't realize it then, but those scraped knees were badges of honor, proof that we weren't afraid to try. 7. The roller rink nights. When the sun set and the cicadas quieted, the lights came on at the local roller rink. It was the 70s version of social media. everyone showed up. You'd hear the echo of skates on the wood floor, the buzz of neon lights, and the DJ calling out a snowball skate. Boys on one side, girls on the other. One song, one chance to hold hands under the mirror ball. If you didn't get picked, no big deal. You grabbed a hot dog, played foosball, and tried again next week. Those nights were awkward, exciting, and unforgettable, the soundtrack of our youth on wheels. 8. Backyards, sprinklers, and lawn darts. Afternoons were for backyard adventures, games of football or baseball with frisbees as bases, slip and slides that turned the grass into mud. And for the truly daring, a round of lawn darts that could have doubled as medieval weapons. We ran through sprinklers, drank from garden hoses, and called it luxury. If you got thirsty, the hose water tasted like metal and summer. And somehow, it was perfect. 9. Evenings of fireflies and freedom. As the sun dipped below the trees, the real magic began. You'd hear the click of bug zappers, the hum of crickets, and see lightning bugs glowing like floating stars. With a mason jar and a few holes in the lid, you could make your own lantern. The games continued. Kick the can, flashlight tag, ghost in the graveyard. Barefoot and breathless, we darted between backyards until someone's mom yelled, "Time for bed!" And when you finally collapsed into bed, the sound of the night breeze through your window felt like a lullaby. 10. The summers that made us. We didn't know it then, but those endless summers were shaping who we'd become. They taught us independence, creativity, and courage. They taught us how to fall and get back up again. No filters, no Wi-Fi, just sunshine, scraped knees, and laughter that echoed through the neighborhood. Those days are gone, but the memories remain. A golden time when being a kid meant being free. If you grew up in the 1970s, you remember the freedom, the fun, the fearless way we lived. And if you didn't, maybe this glimpse reminds you what childhood should feel like. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time. If this brought back memories, tap that like button, subscribe to the Rewind Vault, and ring the bell. Because here, nostalgia never fades. It just gets better with age.